10. The lawyer who proved glass was unbreakable. Toronto, Canada, 1993. Gary Hoy was a 38-year-old corporate lawyer known for being confident, funny, and obsessed with showing off the strength of the glass windows inside his office building. During a tour with a group of law students on the 24th floor, Hoy decided to perform his favorite stunt. He ran full speed into one of the giant glass windows to prove it couldn't break. And honestly, he was right. The glass itself didn't shatter, but the entire window frame popped out of the building. In front of horrified students, Gary flew straight through the opening and fell 24 stories to his death. What makes this story even crazier is that he had reportedly done the stunt multiple times before without any problems. Everyone in the office thought it was just a weird trick he loved doing. One second he was laughing and showing off. The next second he was gone. To this day, it's still one of the most unbelievable workplace deaths ever recorded. 9. The man killed by his own beard. Austria, 1567. Hans Steininger was the mayor of a small Austrian town, but he was famous for something else entirely. His beard. It was over 4 feet long and made him a celebrity across Europe. People traveled just to see it. Normally, Hans carefully rolled the beard up and kept it tucked away so he wouldn't trip on it. But one night, a fire broke out in town. Hans rushed outside in panic and forgot to secure the beard. While running through the streets, he accidentally stepped on it, lost his balance, and crashed down a staircase. He broke his neck instantly. Imagine surviving the 1500s, disease, wars, terrible medicine, only to be taken out by your own facial hair. Even weirder? His beard was preserved after his death and can still be seen in a museum today. 8. The TikToker who tested a bulletproof book. Mexico, 2017. A 22-year-old YouTuber named Pedro Ruiz was trying to become internet famous with dangerous stunt videos. For one video, Pedro and his pregnant girlfriend decided to test whether a thick encyclopedia could stop a bullet. The plan was simple. Pedro would hold the book against his chest. His girlfriend would shoot him with a Desert Eagle pistol from close range. Pedro believed the book would absorb the bullet because they had apparently tested it before with smaller guns. But a Desert Eagle is not a small gun. The bullet blasted straight through the book and hit Pedro in the chest. He died in front of cameras while their terrified neighbors called police. The saddest part? Their 3-year-old child was nearby during the stunt. The video was never uploaded, but investigators later confirmed the entire thing was done for views and subscribers. A decision made for internet fame ended in one of the dumbest deaths of the social media era. 7. The king who died from eating too much. Sweden, 1771. King Adolf Fredrik of Sweden wasn't known for war or politics. People mostly remember him for how he died. On February 12th, the king sat down for an absolutely massive meal. He ate lobster, caviar, sauerkraut, smoked herring, soup, champagne, and then finished it off with 14 servings of his favorite dessert called semla, sweet buns soaked in warm milk. 14. Not surprisingly, the king soon developed severe stomach problems and died shortly afterward. Historians still debate the exact medical cause, but most agree the enormous meal played a huge role. So yes, a literal king survived royal politics and 18th century Europe only to be defeated by dessert. And somehow, that's the thing he became famous for forever. 6. The man who tried to rob a karate master. California, USA, 1990s. A man decided to rob a local martial arts studio late at night, thinking it would be an easy target. Terrible choice. Inside was the owner, a highly trained karate instructor who had spent decades teaching self-defense. The robber pulled a weapon and demanded money. Instead of panicking, the instructor fought back immediately. Witnesses later said the criminal slipped during the struggle, smashed through a glass display case, and suffered fatal injuries. Imagine planning a robbery and accidentally choosing the one building in town filled with people trained specifically to beat you up. It's like trying to rob a police station because it looked quiet. 5. The man crushed by a vending machine. Pennsylvania, USA, 1980s. A college student became frustrated after a vending machine stole his money and refused to drop his snack. So he did what many angry people have probably thought about doing. He shook the machine hard. The machine rocked forward, tipped completely over, and crushed him underneath its massive weight. Emergency crews arrived quickly, But the machine weighed hundreds of pounds, and the injuries were catastrophic. What's shocking is how common this actually became. Over the years, dozens of people have died from vending machine accidents because they tilted or climbed on them trying to get snacks. So yes, statistically, vending machines have killed more people than sharks in certain years, which somehow makes snack food more dangerous than the ocean. 4. The scientist who inhaled deadly bacteria to prove a point. Chicago, USA. 1890s. Dr. Max von Pettenkofer was a respected scientist obsessed with proving another researcher wrong. At the time, scientists were arguing about what caused cholera, a deadly disease that killed millions. Pettenkofer believed cholera wasn't dangerous unless combined with poor environmental conditions. To prove it, he drank a glass containing live cholera bacteria in front of witnesses. Yes, intentionally. At first, it looked like he survived with only mild symptoms, and he proudly claimed victory. But later historians believe he probably had partial immunity already, meaning the stunt proved almost nothing. Even crazier, several people connected to the experiment later became seriously ill. He risked his life just to win a scientific argument. And somehow, he thought that was a reasonable idea. 3. The man who wanted a photo with a walrus. China, 2016. A tourist visiting a wildlife park noticed a giant walrus near the edge of an enclosure. Employees warned visitors repeatedly not to get too close. But the man wanted a better photo. So he climbed over the barrier and approached the animal anyway. The walrus suddenly grabbed him, dragged him into the water, and drowned him before workers could react. A zookeeper jumped in trying to save him and tragically died as well. People often think walruses are slow, goofy animals. They're not. Adult walruses can weigh over a ton and are incredibly powerful. One selfie opportunity turned into a horrifying double tragedy. 2. The man who died celebrating his own survival. Thailand, 2013. A man in Thailand survived a serious motorcycle accident and was rushed to the hospital with only minor injuries. Doctors treated him, and his friends arrived to celebrate the fact he was unbelievably lucky to still be alive. Feeling grateful and excited, the man stepped outside the hospital for fresh air. Then disaster struck. A speeding vehicle lost control nearby and slammed directly into him outside the hospital entrance. This time, he died instantly. Surviving one deadly accident only to be killed moments later sounds almost fictional. But police reports confirmed the bizarre chain of events. It may genuinely be one of the worst cases of luck ever recorded. 1. The inventor killed by his own invention. Boston, USA. 1912. Franz Reichelt was a tailor and amateur inventor obsessed with creating a parachute suit. He believed his wearable design would allow people to safely jump from tall buildings. Authorities gave him permission to test a dummy from the Eiffel Tower in Paris. But when the day arrived, Franz shocked everyone. Instead of using a dummy, he decided to jump himself. Crowds gathered below as cameras rolled. At first he hesitated. Then he leapt. The parachute failed almost instantly. Franz plunged to the ground and died on impact in front of horrified spectators. The entire event was captured on film, which still exists today. It's one of the earliest recorded viral tragedies. A man so convinced his invention would work that he trusted it with his own life. And he was catastrophically wrong. That's the end of today's video. If you enjoyed these unbelievable stories, hit that subscribe button so you don't miss the next one. Because trust me, reality somehow keeps getting weirder than fiction. Drop a like if you want a part 2, and I'll see you in the next video.